Hello YouTube. Sorry there hasn't been any videos for a fair while. It's mainly due to weather. As you know, it's been a bit wet over the last year. Yeah. But anyway, I've got some projects going on in my head. Some of them I need it to be dry. Others I thought I can do that indoors. And one of the things I want to do is I'm experimenting with airbrushing. Now I went and bought one of these, which is basically a hobby grade airbrush, and it comes with one of these. Now one of these costs about £6 to £8. I don't know how many charges you get out of it, but £6 to £8 for basically what you get for free all around you, called air. I think it's CO2 mainly, or it's got some form of propellant in it. So do not use near naked flat. Yeah, I don't want that. But anyway, so I thought air compressors. Now I went and had a look for air compressors around, and you're looking at 60 to 80 quid for a small hobby grade air compressor for an airbrush. That's a lot of money for something that's very, 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 very simple. So they built this, which is a proof of concept. This is basically just a proof of concept, just to tide me over until I figure out how to actually build a better one, or recondition one. Find one second-hand, old second-hand, and recondition it. But I made this out of what I had lying around in the garage. I spent £3.50. So let's have a look at it for you. Right, so the basic was the £3.50. I needed a pressure vessel, and £3.50 I found this little paint sprayer, which I think is rated at about 25 to 30, so it can take up to 30 psi, and then it may bulge. So I thought, great, I'll buy that as a proof of concept. And I thought, I need some kind of air pump. Well, I've got this air pump for doing up your tyres, so it's a tyre pump, but you can't run it for more than 5 minutes, but that doesn't matter for what I'm experimenting with. Then you need this power supply. Well, I've got an old motorcycle battery which plugs in there we go, it's now powered. Right, if you look up there, let's see, that is a handle from a steam, this is a handle from a steam floor steamer, and it fits. I can hook that over there, that fits in there, and it's just so lovely. So I can keep everything nice and tidy. And then I made basically I made a wooden base. I put in, let's move you around, this wooden plank here with 3 screws at the top. Then when I bolted this down, which is basically just a square wood to keep the battery from going anywhere, I put 2 screws in there as well, so basically I can lift up that. This is cable tied, just cable tied, ordinary cable tie, with a little rubber bung at the bottom so it sticks. That's actually a plug from a sink. And then if I turn it round, got a little bit of storage for the excess wire and the instructions. Yeah, and then this holds the leads into place, so let's have a look at that. This means that it's not putting pressure on there. That's basically another rubber plug, a couple of cable ties. Now this goes through the base, around and through the other side, and then I took an old belt and just basically strap it down, so I can do this. Yes, you can hand pump it, which is great if you run out of power. I have 2 pressure bar measure or 2 measure guides, or whatever they're called now, gauges. I've got 2 gauges. This one's not very good, this one's rubbish, this one's really good. And so basically I pump it up to 25 psi, which is what this is rated at, is 25 to 20 psi. And I put tubing around, so you see all this tubing here. This is an old bicycle valve that I've basically screwed in from the back and then hot glued it, and then wraps the cabling around there to here. This comes off, Yeah, see, air pressure. That comes off, and this comes around here onto there. So now the pump's connected, and we can pop that in there for safety. I'll pop it in there for safety. But yeah, let's pull you out a little bit. But yeah, I kind of made this from whatever I had lying around the garage. And I bet you want to see it working. I'll turn it on. It's going to be a little bit noisy. There we go. It's about 25. That gauge should be there, so I can basically go to that red line there. It's not losing any pressure, as you can see. But I use a lot of hot glue. It's really good. But yes, I'm actually rather pleased with that. It actually works. And it's reading 25 on this gauge, it's reading 25 on this gauge. Another thing, with a hand pump, I can actually remove that, and that comes up, and basically any pressure in the bottle is not going to the airbrush. So, and then that, as I said, I made it. This is just a small nail, and I made it. I think you can see that. Can you see that? Try again. So basically, if I want to cut off the pressure vessel from the airbrush for no apparent reason, this handle comes up, it cuts off the pressure to the airbrush, and therefore there is no pressure in this. So if I release the pressure, so you come around here, so if you can see the pressure's dropping quite badly, isn't it? That's because it's, there we go. It's gone. It's gone. If I pump up, you'll see there's no pressure happening in there, but there is in the bottle. So if I press this down and place the pin, so see the pressure. Press this down, the pressure goes up. Can you see that? There you go. Pressure goes up. Now I have ideas. As I said, this is a proof of concept. As I said, this is a proof of concept. I wanted to see if I was able to do it. And it seems that I've got it to work. I'm quite pleased with it. That goes in there like that. Want to hear it? I go about 8 sprays before I need to pump it up again, and I can pump it by hand. See? And I can get it up to decent pressure. Or I can pump it with that. And what it needs is a bleed valve, so I can keep the motor running, and there's a bleed valve that you have in there, and you just have it so it's doing a constant pressure. But yeah, it works. Pop that in there where it's safe. Pop those on there. And this was out of scrap. So the wood I got basically from this actually. It's just what I had spare. So I just used 2 bits, carved them off, job done, bolted them together, and and this is just some ties that I had from bungees, well, not bungees, but basically ratchet strap ties, so they're pretty strong. I can lift it up quite easily and move it around. I'm really pleased. Right, so I guess you want to see it working. Now it comes with this little jar. I need to get some more of these. And this is not tikka mayo. I do like this mayo though. But it's basically, I've used it as a bottle mix. And in there is blackboard paint and water. So blackboard paint and then you water. And apparently you do it to a milky consistency. So we pop that in there. And that's in there, done. We take the top off and we pop that in there. Now that's working. That's now. We'll stick it there, it's fine. Just stand up. Stay there. Right, so we switch the pump up and get it to about 25 psi. There we go. So get that out of the way and we'll just try on this piece of wood. Now apparently I can do wide spray like that. I can do pointed spray. But you get the point, and this has gone down to 15 psi. I'm actually quite pleased with that. So let's see if we can keep the pump going. See if this works. So proof of concept. Oh, I think that's successful. Right. See you next time. Have a good one.